More of your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, Access, Level 10 Coatings, Steiner Homes, Center Guard Plumbing, and by American Beam and Steel. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show is about your house, and today we're talking roofs. And that's always something that's good to talk about, especially, if all of a sudden you need it. And a lot of times with storm, wind, damages like that, that's what happens. All of a sudden, I need a new roof. Or if you're planning on just taking care of the top of your house for wintertime. Got a great expert with us today, Tony Reyes with Walton Contractors. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tony, your company does roofs and gutters, and that's it, right? I mean, you're a roofing company.
We're a roofing company.
So, if you want an expert, it's specialized, and that makes all the difference. When somebody needs a new roof, some important things that they need to ask when they're trying to find a company. Give us some, real game breakers of when you're searching for a company to use.
I think that making sure, obviously, that they're licensed. Google reviews is a very big one, Google guaranteed, and maybe if that contractor is certified with the manufacturer. The manufacturer's warranties are very important. It's not just important that someone finds a licensed roofer, but someone who's actually certified that's going to stand behind that product after that roofer's gone. Yeah,
and it's important to know that the company's going to be around, right?
That's correct.
That's why sometimes you can get a discounter and they're out of business or they're in another state and they're done. Mm-hmm. They may do a great job, but what happens if you have a problem? And I think that's one of the reasons I always steer people away from doing that is that don't go with somebody that you can't go see if there's an issue, because that does come up in any situation, right? You're dealing with something that has to do with the elements.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so the importance of the manufacturer certification is that, like we were talking offline, is that, for example, we're certified with Owens Corning, which is like the Pink Panther company. They make us hold the first 5 years of the warranty, and they're saying, hey, if something goes wrong with it, you fix it. But after the first 5 years, we'll hold it from years 60 to 40. And this is a massive company. They're going to be around even if I'm not around anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so making sure that contractor is certified with the manufacturer is a very important element of getting an actual price.
Yeah, it's a significant investment when you do a roof. So you want that warranty.
Absolutely.
If something goes wrong, you want to be able to fix it. So that's real important. And I know that your company is veteran-owned, and it's family business, Christian-based business, been doing business for over 15 years, and you do a lot of roofs. Tell us why it's important for you to carry those kind of values in your company.
I think that, we're the hands and feet. So we don't have a pulpit. We have a business, and our place at Walton is to build roofs, build people, build community. That's our mission. Build roofs, build people, build community. And by what that means is we want to do work. We want to do good quality work. We want to invest in the people that work with us, our workers, our salespeople, our office administration people, and we want to build community. Those are the people that surround us, whether it's a food pantry, whether it's orphanages, whether it's digging wells in Africa or planting trees. I think that it's important to live this Christian life, not just be a Christian.
Yep. And so actually putting it in practice. So, again, thank you for your service. We really appreciate that. That's very important when you're choosing a business to work with, because if you're working with a Christian-based or a veteran-based company, I can almost guarantee you the experience is better and the quality of work is going to be better because they just care that much more. When it comes to shingles and technology with that, anything new that we need to be aware of, different changes? And I know shingles are shingles, but there's always some variation. Any new technologies or new things that are going on in the industry?
There's a lot new things. The technologies it's allowed. Traditional roofs were like 20, 25-year warranted roofs, but now they're heavier. The weight distribution of the actual shingle and the nail profile allows them to warranty it for almost 40 years now, which is pretty good because that's the same as metal roofs or sometimes slate or cedar shake roofs. Mm-hmm. So, yes, the technology has definitely changed. Prices is going out the roof. It's insane because I remember right before COVID, it almost cost 200% to do a roof today than it did in 2019.
Wow.
And I don't see those prices going down because most roofs are petroleum-based, so it's fiberglass dipped in, in oil and then granulated. That's what gives it the color. So I see pricing going up. So that's a little, I don't say worrisome, but it's something that if someone wanted to do something, they'd want to do it sooner rather than later. I don't see prices going down on it. But at the same point, technology is getting more efficient. It lasts longer. The warranty's longer. And there's discounts on homeowners' policies when they do get a new roof.
Okay. And tell us about the discounts on the homeowners' policies.
Yeah. So what happens is the number one thing that most homeowners make a claim on is roofs and or floods if you have a flood insurance.
Right.
So when you upgrade to the newer shingles and technologies they have now, they call it a Class 4 shingle, we actually fill out a document that you give to your insurance agent, and they give you a discount because now they know that the number one thing that you probably would have made a claim on, based on on the probability, is no longer an issue now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called impact resistant. So even if it's hail or wind, that's a roof that's not going to be impacted by hail or wind.
Yeah, and so it's important that you have the kind of technology that can make the possibility of a claim a little less, right? I mean, and that's why insurance companies like it. And by the way, if you haven't checked your homeowner's policy, do, because Illinois is notorious when it comes to homeowners policies going up. And we've talked about it, all kinds of different changes, and your deductible may be different than because a lot of times you get that you get that renewal and you don't really look at it.
Correct.
And in there could be some information about how your deductible has changed with wind damage. You're seeing that. I know I am.
I am, yeah. So, I mean, traditionally people have normally about a $1,000 deductible. But what we're seeing more on the policy is that it's a $1,000 deductible, but it's a $10,000 deductible if it's wind or hail, which pretty much excludes the entire roof. You're subject to the first $10,000 of that, which is not really fair. That the way that they present it, and they really don't mention it to your point. But that's a big ticket for most homeowners to swallow if they do have to make a claim, or if they have to, if the insurance extends coverage on a $20,000 roof, but you're responsible for the first $10,000.
Yeah, that's a big bite. Mm-hmm. Wow. So make sure that you check your policy. We're talking with Tony Reyes. He's with Walton Contractors. You can call him at 708-303-8055. 708-303-8055. Go to the website. Check out the reviews. That's what I always tell people to do because I think that makes sense. Walton-contractors.com. Walton-contractors.com. You also do gutters. Anything new in gutter technology and things like that we should be aware of?
There's heavier gauge metals that they use now for gutters. We're doing, for the most part, oversized, which is about an inch wider, but it carries 30% more of the volume. And also the anchors they used to put them every 3 feet. Now we're putting them every 18 inches. There's a lot of nerdy stuff here, but yeah, the way that we're installing it, the material that we're using to install them has changed also.
I know it's been quite a process that people go through when they're looking at gutters. They're getting wider. And, especially if you have older gutters on your house. And I assume that the reason that they're wider is just to catch more moisture. Is that it?
Catch more water.
Yeah. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely.
And then also, they're wider at the bottom. So when it goes out, and that's probably a good idea if you're looking at maybe, your gutters need replaced, is make sure that you're not replacing them with the same size, because I think they're getting bigger and bigger all the time when I look at them.
Yeah, 6 inch. So traditionally they have 5 inch, which is the norm, and now they're going to 6 inch. But the difference is in that 1 inch diameter is almost 33% more volume that they're catching. And it's not really for like light rain or sprinkling or even just snow. It's for those torrential downpours that we get. That's what it's really for.
And they do happen.
Yep.
No doubt about that. They happen all the time. If you're looking at doing a roof and you decide, okay, it's time, I want to check it out, is there something that you can do as a homeowner when it comes to looking at your roof, or is it you really have to get somebody that's an expert and have them, grab the ladder and go up?
Yeah, I think that most things can be. Most homeowners want to avoid the TLC that comes along with roofing, and I would say that most replacements would be avoidable if the homeowner kind of kept up with the TLC. If every couple of years you're getting a roofer out there to kind of take a look at it, to reflash the chimney, caulk any mechanical penetrations, you can avoid the whole replacement as a whole. Now, everything has a shelf life, but you can kind of prolong the life of that roof. So I would say that it's better to get an inspection sooner rather than later, even if you just wanted an expert's opinion on what's the condition of my roof. Maybe I'm not ready for it. Maybe I'm trying to save up, like a CapEx fund, and I'm going to do it in the next 3 or 4 years. But that can really save you some money. A couple $100 repair can save you a couple $1,000 in the long run.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. So you're saying every couple of years have somebody do an inspection on it, because you're flashing different things. That could be a problem. Maybe the shingles are fine. Maybe the roof's fine. But the other things around it.
Correct.
they cause leaks too.
It's a thermal expansion, and with these winds and that come through that lift shingles, that kind of pull flashings off from the wall or chimney flashings away from the chimney, you would be amazed what a little hole, a little flashing missing can really cause in the long run. And the thing is that when homeowners are really finding, hey, there's a leak in my kitchen, it's much bigger than that at that point.
Oh, yeah. At that point, it's a mess. It's not a bad idea to occasionally crawl up in your attic and look.
Correct.
And see if you see any moisture or any kind of condensation or things like that, right?
Absolutely. Ventilation. You can see if there's more draft, if your insulation is blown more than another. Ventilation is another issue that sometimes whenever they're doing insulation in the attics, they're covering up the inlets from the soffits that actually help the roof breathe.
That happens all the time.
Yes.
And,
So
because
that
they're just blowing it in. They don't
cooks
care.
the roof from the inside out. If your roof is not breathing, your 40-year roof just became a 10-year roof.
Yeah. That makes a big difference. Not a bad idea. Crawl up in your attic occasionally and take a look. But that's $1 million tip there when it comes to you're dealing with the vents and the soffits and stuff, because they're always covered up,
right.
And you don't want any part of your roof covered up. Well, Tony, thanks for all the tips. We appreciate it. By the way, they have a special going on if you're looking at doing replacement. It's if you're 65 or plus, $500 off. All veterans, military, past military, current military, $500 off on that. Of course, they have financing as well, and you can double dip on that, right? So if you're 65 plus and a veteran or military, it's $1,000 off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great company. Check them out. It's Walton Contractors, and the number to call is 708-303-8055, 708-303-8055, walton-contractors.com. Tony, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.